Hello my friends! One of my short videos about military housepin became viral and is now over 1 million views. But as always, there are so many hateful comments, like why I'm throwing my only weapon away, there's no knife throwing in the army, stuff like that. So today I will address all these comments. So let's get started. So first of all, if you haven't seen my short video, I will definitely include it in the link in the description below. But basically, I'm just explaining 3 different grips, like for the short distances, medium and longer distances. Nowhere in that short video I said like, hey guys, now use this technique for the combat, try to dispatch some people, stuff like that. Nowhere, so a lot of people are triggered like, oh, why you would use this in the combat, stuff like that. So once again, this was just a short tutorial how you can throw basically any type of knife. The military name it's called because it's the easiest technique, that's why they teach it in the military. So we can go right away to my first point, and there was the first comment. There was people were saying there is no knife throwing in the military, and that's completely false. First of all, every culture in the world had some kind of throwing devices in their arsenal. We can call about Sikh with the chakram, Franks had the Francisca, many cultures, alright? So that was in past. In recent history, we had even in the Civil War era, they were throwing the Bowie knives. So think about that. That was used also when was only one bullet were able to use for the shooting. So with this way you were able to shoot only one bullet, and after you had to use something else, right? So in this way I believe that was definitely used. And if we talk about the modern era, I think there is maybe not so many knife throwing in the EU or in the USA. I don't know why, but there is definitely knife throwing in Russia, North Korea and China. I can definitely include some clips so you will guys see, and from the video you can definitely see also they are using the military housepin technique controlled with the thumb. So this is definitely first point. Knife throwing is definitely in the military. Maybe not in the every unit, but definitely some special forces are practicing it till today. The second most frequent comment is, why would you throw your only weapon away? So of course I would never throw my only weapon away. That would be silly, right? Because after you would be just with the bare hands. But what if your weapon have malfunction and somebody is running at you with the machete or some long sword? You definitely don't want to fight him, right? So there is little chance that if you have one knife, you could throw it and run away or follow up with other attack, alright? This is just only in theory. But I think most of you carry maybe more knives, right? For example, sometimes, most of the times, I have at least 2 knives. So first I can throw it, and right away I can draw my second knife and I am able to fight it with the other knife in my hand, alright? So it's definitely a good point to not throw your only weapon away, but if you have multiple weapons on you, it's definitely a good possibility that if you're gonna throw it, your target will flinch or you're gonna create some reaction. And the reaction definitely helps to follow up, like I said, with the other attack or get the hell out of there, alright? So definitely throw your weapon away. It's a good point, but like I said, have multiple backups on you and you will be never barehanded, alright? Another frequent comment was, knife throwing it's not powerful enough, that like you have to hit the eye or something like that. This is completely false, guys. And it's definitely going from people that were never throwing knives before, or they never was hit only by a stupid ricochet from the target. Anybody who's throwing for more than several years know how knife throwing ricochets could be super dangerous, you know. And now you can only imagine that if you are throwing at somebody, in just a theory, right, with the full force, the knife will go way deeper than the classic stab, you know. We measure it when I was in Malta, and my force from closer distances and the speed of the knife were comparable to the strong bow, alright? And you are able to also penetrate the Kevlar vest, the chainmail, so knife throwing skill, it's definitely very, very powerful. But of course, you have to be able to hit the target, right, with the point first. But anywhere when the knife will hit with the full force will make a damage, or at least you're gonna make the target flinch, and that goes back to my previous points that you can follow up with the other attack or definitely run away, alright? But knife throwing, in my opinion, it's super powerful. Another point that people had is that if you're gonna throw your weapon away, that enemy can pick it up right away and throwing at you. So if you ever throw in the forest and you throw your knife into the grass or in the bush, you know how long it takes to find the knife in the grass or whatever. It takes long minutes, sometimes it can take even hours if you don't have metal detector, you know. So for example, here in this ground, I think it's pretty easy to see the knife, alright? But like I said, if the combat scenario would be in forest or anywhere else, there is no way that if you're gonna miss your target, he will be like, oh okay, wait, now I will find your knife, and he will start searching. No, he would become the even easier target for the second knife or the follow-up with the other attack. He would be starting searching the grass or the bushes, right? So I would say enemy can definitely pick it up, the weapon, and throw it at you, but in what cost? You know, it's gonna take time. He will definitely get exposed because it would be like here, you know. So definitely, in my opinion, if that would be big combat scenario, there is no way he gonna spend several minutes for searching the knife, alright? A lot of people were saying that you should rather hold the knife in the combat rather than throw it. I would say if you never throw your knife in your life, I would definitely don't throw it away, alright? But if you have trained and you have a lot of skills, you know how to release the knife, how to do it, so in this scenario it's possible. But like I said in the previous point, I will never throw my only weapon away, even I. Because if you miss and other guy have the knife, machete or stuff like that, your chances to defend yourself are getting very, very lower, you know. So even I, if I had only one knife, I would rather stand and fight with it rather than use my bare hands. So this is definitely a good point that where people were saying, so I definitely agree with this. If you are not thrower, I would never throw my weapon away. I would rather hold it with my hand and fight with it. So this is definitely a good point. There was also a pretty good point in the comments. Somebody was saying like, hey dude, why would you throw your super expensive knife away and lost it in the forest if you can grab the rock and throw it, you know? So first of all, I totally agree, because throwing rocks actually originated the throwing the hidden weapon. The throwing rock is actually original throwing device that was used many thousands of years ago, maybe first throwing device even before the spears. So rock are definitely great for the throwing at the enemy, using till today it some states. So yeah, if you have a chance to grab some rocks in the combat scenario and throw it, it's definitely better, and you can still keep your knife, right? But in some scenario you don't have time to grab some rock, because only thing that you have in the pocket is your knife or multiple knives. So in this case, like I said, there is no time to getting the rocks from the ground. So you have to, if you want to throw, you would have to throw your knife away, one, and follow up with the other knife, for example. So in this case, rock, it's not possibility. So only thing you would have to throw your knife. And basically, if you never throw your knife before in your life, you would just throw it randomly. But even in this case, if you would throw it like a rock, you would make the target flinch, because nobody will stand like this and expect the hit. So even without any technique, you can just throw it randomly and after follow up with the other attack, you know, something like this. And another good point was, why throw knives if we have the guns, alright? So, like I said before, guns can have malfunction. And when I was testing these scenarios with the gun expert Pavel Cherny, I think it was last year, we did many scenarios and a lot of time his weapon had malfunction and he wasn't even able to shoot. And I was able to throw it no problem really fast. So in this case, also knife throwing can be really reliable. And if you think about it, soldier during his life is teaching many skills. You know, for example, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, stuff like that. But if you think about it, how many times soldier will get on the ground and start wrestling and doing these combats? You know, I think there is only like a 1%, maybe even less. If you are experienced soldier, you can let me know in the comments and we can discuss it. But I believe there is very minimal wrestling or kicking combat scenarios in the large scale war. So you can tell like, oh, also these skills are useless, just shoot the guns. No, it's not like that. The more skills you have, the bigger arsenal of weapons, of skills you are able to use. You know, so maybe you will never use the wrestling or the throwing knife or even knife skill, but there could be one chance that it can save your life, so it will definitely help you. So I would say these are the main comments. So guys, if you are experienced thrower or you served in the military, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I would like to have this as a friendly conversation and we can get the bottom of this. Is knife throwing in the military absolute nonsense, or it could be some skill that you'll be maybe able to use in the combat? So let me know, and definitely check out the short that I was talking about. I will use the link in the description below. But for today, that's it. So thank you buddy for watching. Share, like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.